KSW.
Please welcome to the show, David Koechner.
You know what Paul Rudd said is that they said, well, if they won't make Anchorman 2, why don't we just make Anchorman 3?
That's a great idea. I love that.
I love that because that's true wit. Rudd, he's very funny anyway, but I thought, man, that is a great joke.
And bringing it back to Anchorman, here's the thing that you see that they always want to do in movies, because I remember the Adam Sandler movie where they were all at the summer camp and
Grown-ups.
Grown-ups, yeah. What they always try to do is they go, okay, you got guys that are good enough to do their own movies, like, lead their own movies, and then they go, let's make an all-star cast. You take a look at all the guys that are in Anchorman that have led their own movies. You guys had that all-star cast before these guys were anchoring their own movies.
Yeah.
So Anchorman 2 would be the kind of movie that somebody would try to make because it's an all-star cast.
Right. I think we should just do a different one. Even if it's not Anchorman, it's something else.
That's a good idea, too.
Like we're remaking Exile on Main Street.
Why not?
Why not? We
With
move into
a random cameo from Stiller. That'd be great.
Right. We move into a French chateau. But we all bring our families because everyone has kids now.
Yeah, that's it, of course.
Yeah.
What would be, because what I love about Anchorman is that if it's on TV, it doesn't matter where it is in the film. I could just sit there and watch, and even if I could only sit around for 20 minutes, I would be satisfied in what I get to see because it's just so many great moments.
Right.
For you, what was your favorite moment in that film?
I tell you, I know it sounds cliche, but it's every day. Every day was just a joy. Every day something great happened. There's a second movie called Wake Up Ron Burgundy because there was a different plot in the original picture, and then they changed it before we had to do some reshoots. And so there was a lot of stuff in that you don't see that was some of my favorite stuff. It just because it didn't fit in the movie, right? Everything has to stack up, and either makes or doesn't. So some of those scenes are my favorite. Actually, one of I have on my website one where I deeply profess my love to Ron Burgundy, and it goes on and on and on, and everyone in the car is trying to ignore it. And we were shooting that in Glendale, and it was 104 degrees outside. None of us are wearing pants in that car because we're all wearing wool suits, and it was so darn hot. And we couldn't roll down the windows, and you couldn't run the air conditioning, so we're all just sweating the bejesus, right? And we're being pulled because it's a pull car, those trailers. That was one of my favorite days. At 104 degrees. But you know what? I guess the fight scene. The fight scene is so magical. It comes out of nowhere. It jumps the whole movie up a notch. It's so crazy beautiful. And that day was shot in one day, that whole fight scene. It was immense. You had all those stars that came down for that one day. There was all kinds of big trailers on set that day. And that was 99 degrees downtown L.A. that day, too. Man. That was crazy. That was a lot of fun.
It really was. It's so great when you see a movie that, like you said, people didn't know what was going to happen, became such a magical movie with so many great moments that you go, yeah, of course you'd put this in a movie.
Of course you'd have a fight scene out of nowhere. News anchors who get it on.
And I think of
the Spanish newscasters too. Everything about it so awesome. I love you, David Koechner.
What was it? Public radio wants a piece of this. What was it? Public television.
Yeah, they had the turtlenecks.
Hold on, public television wants it on. Oh man.
David, it's so great that you are as enthused about your business as we are, because we, at least on our show, we love it. We just love the movie entertainment, television entertainment, and of course on The Office. This is a tough year because, we're finally getting to the episodes where Michael Scott's going to be gone, and of course Steve Carell was with you, in a lot of movies.
Steve gave me that job. Actually, they were working on it, and they had another actor. It wasn't working. I was in Canada shooting Snakes on a Plane, and so they're trying to cast it. And Steve said, "How about Koechner?" So I owe Steve that one.
How about somebody would say, "How about Koechner?" when my brain goes, "Who else but Koechner for Todd Packer?"
I like your brain.
Todd Packer. It's so great because when you and again, it was a brilliant idea because how do you get to be even more ridiculous than Michael Scott? And boy, and who would his friend be? Who actually not only is more ridiculous but makes him look like
a good person.
Yeah, it's just hysterical. And also picks on him, and he actually, because the Michael Scott character doesn't realize he's an idiot.
Right.
Everybody does, but he doesn't know it.
Yeah.
Except he feels like an idiot around the Todd Packer character.
Yeah.
And Todd, oh my God,
he's awful. I like him.
He was awful in the 70s.
Yes, he was always awful. He grew up an awful person.
Yeah.
I don't know what his childhood was like, but he was not treated well.
And I'm wondering, of course, if I remember, my memory serves me, Todd's been he's driving to
Tallahassee right now at this point,
thinking that he's got a great job.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much you can or can't tell us, but I think, all right, we're going to lose Michael Scott. I hope we see a little more of Todd.
I wish I knew too. Honestly, first, two things I want in life. One is to do more Office, but more importantly, I want you to be a studio head.
Yeah, all right, there you go. Well, if anything,
I want you to get a job at the biggest studio in L.A. because I think I'll work. That's awesome.
Sometimes I think the studio heads need to have a guy like me who's just a fanboy.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do.
Yeah.
Because I take a look at people who have great careers and they have circumvented the process of having to deal with the people who are out of touch.
They spend so much time thinking what they know. I went out and pitched a bunch of shows recently, and they already have an area that they think they want. Well, we're looking for this area. And I said, you know what? I even said this to these guys. I said, you don't know what you want. What you want is good television. Believe me, nobody 4 years ago was we're looking for a television show set in an ad agency in the 60s.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody, if you would pitch that, they just said, no, he came in with the script and did it. He's brilliant, too.
Yeah, but you're talking about Mad Men, of course.
Mad Men, of course, yeah. Sorry, I left that hanging.
Which, you're absolutely right. It's a big, big hit show. And, well, David, I hope for whatever, at this point, I was so happy to see, I didn't know you were in Paul, so as soon as I saw, and it was relatively early in the movie that I saw you, and I'm like, and I immediately said, Simon, you're the genius. Because, and we're big fans of Simon and Nick.
They're
and
great
what they
guys,
do.
too.
And, comedy knows comedy, and it's so great to see that brotherhood extended where, when somebody finally has the ability to go, well, of course, like
how about that guy? Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, so we wish you, a ton of success, even beyond what you have, and
Thank you
have a lot. And make sure you check out the Always Open, which is, you just go online and do Always Open Denny's, and you'll come across these videos on YouTube, which are tremendous. I mean, I love them. And I can't wait for I'm sitting there going, come on, give me the next one. I want to see, and so good stuff there.
Right
man.
on. Well, Seattle is awesome. Bellevue is awesome. I will be back, and I will be back here.
Cool. Glad to hear that.
You guys are fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Because we did get a text that said, David Koechner is even more awesome than I ever thought. Please invite him back in the studio again. Champ Kind is my hero.
All right. Whoever that is, I will be back.
It was me. I texted that.
Okay. Congratulations, Steve.
I'm texting myself now.
You might as well.
BJ Shea Morning Experience on 99.9 KISW.